not a vampire, not an alien. I'm not the fucking mummy, I'm a goblin.
Well, hey guys, what's shaking but you're baking? What's going on, Goblin Nation? Welcome to my review of The Flash. Well, not review, it's not a review, it's a recap. Yes, we're doing a recap. We did that for the Flash TV series kind of thing. Now we're doing it for the comics because finally the last arc ended. Well, not the last or for the very last, but this arc ended kind of thing. So I wanted to give this finally this recap it deserved, from the first one to the last with King Cold kind of thing. So I'm gonna skip some. Of course I'm gonna skip some. This is a kind of thing that you're gonna skip something, but I remember a lot of things. So sketch a stripper, give me some Coca-Cola, drinks, everything you can have, some alcohol. Alright, let's go on. So well, I have you now. You guys can share this video, subscribe if you're new, like it, and yes, I did it in front of it because that doesn't make any sense, but everybody does it, but it doesn't make any sense, but everybody seems to do that. It's like, why? It's like, oh guys, let's get to those likes. Like, well, I don't even say it in the video yet. Anyway, so let's get on with this. Alright, so it begins all with since Rebirth, because we can go from the 90s kind of thing, from we can go all the way, because in the beginning there was Jay Garrick. Jay Garrick was the first speedster, but he was not really kind of a speedster with the lightning kind of thing. No. The lightning kind of thing started with Barry Allen. Barry Allen became the first ever Flash because he was the one that created the Speed Force. The Speed Force went all sides and now everybody has it. So past, future kind of thing, he is the source of the Speed Force. The wire it all began. It went through time, from beginning to ending, through time. Became more powerful than Barry, but still. And he also likes to keep it grounded. He doesn't go into the... He likes to explain everything with science. That's his whole big deal. So he also had the sidekick Wally West for that kind of while, but he Wally West kind of when Barry Allen died in Crisis on an Infinite Earth kind of thing going around. I think it was on Crisis. I don't remember the kind of thing. I could confuse with the TV show Crisis. Anyway, so he vanishes in Crisis. He was dead in the comics for 20 years. 20 fucking years in your real life! He was there. You never could read Barry Allen again. You are there all those 20 years without Barry Allen. It was Wally West Flash, but they were a little bit similar. So some people are like, okay, I can deal with this kind of thing. Okay, we've been. I mean, most of them were alive, were grown up with this Wally West kind of era, and kept on growing and growing. So those 20 years, it makes sense that people would start to like him. Then somewhere down the line, he came back. It's like, hey guys, I'm back! Out of the Speed Force, with the arc of Savitar. He kicked Savitar's ass kind of thing. Now he's back and became the main Flash kind of thing going on. So then Wally West disappeared kind of thing when the 52 kind of thing appeared kind of thing. He disappears. There was a new 52, when 52 became a thing, he disappeared. He became was another Wally West introduced. Then I was like, okay, now there's this also cousin kind of thing, also called Wally. They call him now mostly Wallace, because you know, have Wally and Wallace kind of thing. It's like, we call them both Wally, but since then we're gonna call the original Wally and this one Wallace. Hey Wallace! What's up, Wallace? How you doing, Wallace? Anyway, so they're kind of going on. That's what been going on 52. Then in Rebirth, now we're caught up kind of thing. In Rebirth, we get the Wally West back from Speed Force. He's like, I'm here, help me! Nobody remembers him. So eventually Barry kind of grabs him out of Speed Force. They know kind of thing. He knows now back that Wally West is kind of thing. It's like, oh my god, you're the fucking thing! Oh my god, what happened? Kind of thing. He feels bad that he doesn't remember, but Wally also is like, my children are there. Not only does Barry doesn't remember me, Also, my wife doesn't remember me. My children don't exist anymore. He has a very crisis going on. Later, he has a hero crisis where he is the killer. But that's story for doesn't matter because we're here to have the most kind of thing. Because in the end, doesn't matter. He is a killer, and he is also in Flash Forward. I actually like because I'm also reading that comics, like the Flash Forward kind of thing. Is he going through the multiverse kind of thing? He goes through the multiverse, helps the kind of thing, the dark multiverse kind of thing. He goes all the way. He finds out Lightspeed, a version of his wife. I'm like, hey, Lightspeed was my idea. That was the first name I fucking called. I called it like years ago. Like, well, you know what's a good name gonna be? Could be a kind of thing. You could have like speed. What can you be? Lightspeed. I mean, you have light coming out of you. Lightspeed seems a solid win kind of thing. It's also a kind of thing that's like a no-brainer, but somehow that never happened till now. Either way, I called it before it, but whatever. So her version of his wife kind of thing, but he's like, I'm not gonna go there. I have a wife that doesn't remember me, doesn't kind of thing. But it is still wife, more my wife than you are my wife, so kind of thing. Anyway, so she goes her own way. She looks like our wife looks like Godspeed. Like she has this whole suit of Godspeed coming on, the color palette and everything, just a girl version. That's what's I'm like, why are you trying to replace Godspeed? Because you cannot replace Godspeed. Now talking about Godspeed, so the first arc is with discovering who Godspeed is. We find out because Barry has now a best friend in the Rebirth, since the Rebirth kind of their best friend. We also find out in the secret origin, year one kind of Flash. We find out how he got his powers, that he went to the future kind of thing. He also wanted to have a crush on Iris, and August Hart is the one that's like, hey, you should go. He has like a cop. August Hart is a cop kind of thing, and he helps his best friend because they're two best friends. I love that. I love this about Barry Allen and Godspeed. Like their best friend, they were best friends because they were a real good duo. I feel like right now it's been like a really long time, but this is what got me into to comics in the beginning. I like, yeah, sure. I read Deadpool. I read a lot of anti-heroes, villain stories before that, but I never read heroes, and I never followed superheroes before this. I was like, just Deadpool is enough. I don't keep on kind of thing. I was not much into the mainstream kind of thing of all those superhero movie, TV shows. TV shows, sure, I watched the TV show, but never really. I know about them, but I didn't about them. I didn't kind of thing. But the Flash was the first since Rebirth. Like Godspeed, I need to know this arc. Godspeed looks badass. I feel like he's more an anti-hero, and yes, I called it. He's a kind of an anti. Even though people are like he's a villain. No, he's not a villain. He's an anti-hero. You just don't see it yet. Kind of thing, because in the beginning, yeah, he goes a little bit nuts with the speed because it's a fine line to cross, kind of thing. There are not much people, and I wanted this way before. Like we need an anti-hero speedster, and he was this anti-hero speedster. He had the power, kind of thing. He was first. He had powers. He got struck by lightning, and he knew already. The Flash was Barry Allen. It's like, I'm your best friend. Of course, I know you're bad, kind of thing. That you're the Flash. So he trained him. He was the first one that got trained. Then a storm came, what give lots of people superpowers. Like a lots of them. And through the city got super speed, so he has to now train them. But then another villain showed up, a villain called Godspeed, because August Hart didn't have a superhero. He's just a sidekick. He never had such like, okay, how he was always like, how should I call myself, kind of thing. But he never called himself anything else than August Hart, kind of thing. It's like he was never like, it was only Godspeed that had a name. Himself, first it's a Mysterio, who Godspeed is, kind of thing. But then we find out the twist is August Hart is Godspeed, and he's on two places at once. He was always with Barry, but he also he was so fast. This was as if that he could be at two places and he stole the speed of others. He didn't meant to kill them, but he didn't mind that they were dead. It's like, okay! It's like, I'm gonna take your speed because you don't deserve that speed. You don't deserve the speed you give to me. It's like, I deserve it. I deserve to be faster. I deserve it. So he killed a lot of speedsters, kind of thing for that. And then he wanted to, like, I'm doing this for you kind of thing. I just smash the kind of thing. Eventually, he tries to kill the villains, like all the villains. Like, you know what? Reverse Flash is kind of now in jail, and I'm gonna go kill him, buddy. Don't worry, I got this for you. And then Barry tries to stop Wallace, kind of thing. They both try to stop him. Eventually, he goes like two ways, kind of thing, trying to get. But because one was there and the other one was kind of thing, I think one version died of him. Breaked, like one died, so his speed was in cut in two, and because that version of him died, that other kind of thing, I mean died, I think it's more like reverse, but it cut his speed already in two, so that means his speed is like really cut in two. His speed is not what it used to be, and he goes to jail. Then the Captain like the rogues kind of thing want to do a big thing while like doing this whole jail after the Flash is back. They're in jail, but they're not, kind of thing. And because of that, Godspeed's like, you know what? I'm gonna go undercover, and he does this. They're like, he finally decides like, okay, maybe the speedster thing was a little bit wrong. I would realize like okay, maybe I let myself a little bit go too much. It's that Speed Force thing, and I know you don't trust me right now, but that was a little bit my fault, and I'm very, very feeling bad about doing this kind of stuff. Like, killing the villains, well, I didn't succeed. It's like, that I don't feel as bad about, kind of thing. Anyway, so we got this whole arc that, with Godspeed kind of thing. Done over. He goes undercover. He does the little bit thing. It's like even tricks the Flash into it. Then double kind of going on. It's like, I told you I'm gonna do it. It's like he done all this. Everybody, the whole empire that Captain Cold has kind of made in Central City. Kind of thing. He's like the underground. He had the underground, the whole underground kind of thing, crime kind of thing was his thing, because it was also a secret for that. There was this black hole kind of storyline going on. There was blood work, awesome kind of thing. But it was like in the comics there was only like 2 issues or 1. It was not as big as the TV show made it out to be, but because there was like, hey, he is in thing. He has healed himself. And now he became a villain, and tried to think while that's going on. Barry Allen had the negative force and Blue kind of thing. Anyway, so after all that kind of going on, is then I think then the dark things. I think that was the annual. There was somewhere down the line an annual where the Godspeed returned. He's like stealing Speed Force of Honor kind of thing. I think he did something else. Then went he teamed up with Barry and the other Flashes. The whole Flash family teamed up, and I'm like, yes, this is what I want to see. The Flash, the Godspeed, and the Flash on the same side. I feel like you have 2 Wally West. Come on, let Godspeed be a kind of thing. Let Godspeed doing. Even Heroes in Crisis are like, you could have given that to Godspeed, like doing that kind of stuff. I would like it. I would love it if Godspeed had that kind of thing. I want Godspeed to be returned because it's been a long time. Because while I'm now talking about like a year or 2 almost ago kind of thing. And then there was this annual when he came back, because after the Gorilla Grodd kind of took over the city, he teamed up last time and he disappeared to some other Flash, whatever, Blue. I don't know, another speedster that said, it's time to store the Speed Force to die! And that's where I have a feeling this is like he tries to steal Speed, but this time he keeps them alive. This time he knows how to do it. knows how to steal the speed without killing them. And then it's like, okay, the Speed Force is dying. It's like, I'm doing this all kind of thing. And then he mentions something to Barry, that he's like, oh, this was when he was too much undercover, that he could not be pulled out, that he needed to be pulled out. Like, it's so hard to, like, I feel like that's a teaser, but in teaser they don't give up, because it was the last time we saw of Godspeed, like this annual kind of thing. And in an annual where Godspeed returned, Godspeed have a thing, and told him like he is like kind of in trouble. He is very much undercover, kind of doing this. Well, they're not sure, because it makes it look like a one throne line away kind of things. Like because of the following issue, nothing cares, nothing matters anymore, because then the Speed Force, the barrier, the dark multiverse, Red Death get introduced. All that crap happens. While then the whole multiverse barrier of some universal thing happens, breaks the barrier, release this new forces kind of out to the world, and then he goes on a quest, the forces quest kind of thing, getting introduced to this. There was also some Reverse Flash kind of going on from future, where we got introduced to Captain Cold, to Commander Cold, a really cool hero kind of thing, because he is like a future. He got by Zoom. First was Reverse Flash going to the future. Reverse Flash got killed. Then Zoom take over kind of thing. Had this rogue gallery. Like they all looked like the rogues, but they were a cop kind of thing. They were a cop squad, and this cop squad. One of them came back. Then the Flash War. Well, Commander Cold came back to time, trying to get around. Then this Flash War happened while breaking time itself. Like time got broken. You could not go through the future. You cannot go to the future. You cannot go to the past. It's like time broke. Commander Cold was stuck in the present. At first they didn't want to team up together, but eventually they did it. And while the Flash does his Flash quest kind of thing going on, through going after other, trying to understand himself, his speed kind of thing on another level, and trying to do that, Commander Cold was the one that kept Central City safe. He was like the hero kind of thing going on, and he did that all the time kind of thing. The Flash met all kind of thing, was somebody with strength, somebody with mind control. There were lots of other forces quests that he did. Eventually he ended that, came back to only discover that Captain Cold took over the city. I think he took over the city, and like a lot of the city, because this was also the year of the villain, and Captain Cold got some things from Lex Luthor to take over, and he did this together with the rest of the rogues, kind of thing. They took all over Central City. Everything was covered into ice. So the whole world was, the whole city was struck ice. Captain Cold became King Cold. Actually, that's a freaking Dragon Ball Z villain, but whatever. And so now he is this Cold kind of thing. Well, the Flash then teams up with. First, their speed is all kind of whack. If they trying to use the speed, they exploded. And it was also, the Flash was also captured, because this goes then 2 months or 3 months after Captain Cold kind of thing took over, and the Flash got captured, got thrown in jail. Did King Cold now say they're like, I did it, I killed him kind of thing. Even though he wasn't killed, his sister finds out, saves the Flash. Like Captain Cold went way too far. It's like he kind of killed. We're thieves. We're just thieves. We never want to go this far. We're not killers. We're not gonna go that far. That's not us. And like he lost it with all this power he gained. He is corrupted by all the things he can. He needs to be stopped of himself. He is his worst enemy. So together, even though Barry's speed powers a little bit overdrive kind of thing, they eventually kind of defeat him in a final battle, with him having this machine of ice powers kind of going on. And he wins, but it's a little bit like the negative Flash again. Besides that, the Speed Force, he got rage out of that kind of thing till the Captain Cold's sister stopped him and like don't you go too far, man! What the hell? It's my brother! And I was like, oh my god, what did that do? What did I do? Oh my god, what did I do? Like, I need to go to jail. Take me to jail! I went too far. And then it's like, and that's where the arc ends. Like, Captain Cold finally got off his throne. It was a really amazing arc, the last one, like King Cold kind of thing. This whole city. I would have loved if they ever do that in TV show. They're not gonna do that unless there is gonna be a child of Captain Cold that we don't know about, or a nephew that we don't know about, kind of thing. I cannot see like a child of Captain Cold that we didn't know. But either way, that's, or Commander Cold. They can make like a future version, and because we had already Captain Cold being evil, like Commander Cold being Captain Cold being evil, we can have well, being good in the end. Like, we can have Commander Cold like being villain, because we already had this anti-hero becoming a hero kind of thing. So we can have Commander Cold being villain, then second generation from the future kind of thing. And it can be another actor, so much cheaper. And if you want a cheaper and not a little bit cheaper, I'm willing to be Commander Cold for just the price of able to live in America, able to pay rent in America, and having everything I need to survive. That's all I need, of kind of thing. For the rest, I want to do the whole season, and after that, you know, after a couple seasons, kind of thing. Anyway, so Commander Cold is a great. Also, the three main things of this stories that so far are my favorite. Also, Commander Cold died actually in this. Captain Cold actually killed Commander Cold when he took over, kind of thing. He went like to make them cold. It's also the reason why the Flash just didn't stop, because he was angry, he was enraged, kind of thing. It's like because of the Speed Force, but also because of the kind of thing that he done. Anyway, that's pretty much it. That's all I got to over here. Also, I forgot kind of thing. My three favorites of the whole Flash so far is Godspeed, of course, Captain Cold, real cool kind of thing, and like as a King of Cold kind of thing going on. I think actually that's all. Those two are the kind of thing. I like the Flash also. He's trying to do science. He's like fast. He can be faster. He can be like way faster than Wally West. But he is also is like trying to have science. I hope he gets faster, but every time he's like trying to pull back. He's somebody that's always like, okay, trying to keep an open mind, but his mind's like, science! Come on, it's science! Science is awesome! Science is the way to go. It's like, is it though? Is it? Kind of thing. It's like he's always struggling between science and the Speed Force, feeling it. He's the source of it all, but he's like not feeling it always. The thing. Anyway, that's pretty much it. What I got for you. Like the thing. So far, I would give that 10 out of 10. Like solid. There is no issue I ever stopped reading. Every issue I kept reading, and I hope they keep going, and I hope the Godspeed come back, because it's been a while, but I still remember every issue of Godspeed kind of thing. I remember everything that happened, even if they're kind of thing. I like speedsters in general. I like every arc that's been so far in the Flash. Like all these arcs kind of thing. Godspeed is still my favorite of all the speedsters, and all these things that happened. Really, is this the only thing I never got hooked off? There is always like you get hooked off of that. Like Superman in the beginning of Rebirth, I started reading that. Like, okay, I like the Flash. Let's try to read Superman. I'm like, oh, I'm enjoying the Superman. But I hooked off from Bendis, and there's a whole other video that I actually did on my channel not so long ago. Kind of thing. I did there, a kind of story of it. Supergirl, I tried to also get going on thing, but also got hooked off when Bendis' story came involved with kind of Supergirl. So I hooked off of that too. It's like Batman. I tried to hook on it for a while, but I got bored of it eventually. Kind of thing. I'm like, I tried to get up on it again, but a little bit later on the story. It's like, I feel like nothing matters on that kind of thing. There's like lots of stories that are amazing, but I never got me really hooked like The Flash. The Flash is like the story that got me hooked forever. Like, I'm gonna keep reading. So long this story keeps happening, so long those stories kind of thing, I'm really into it. I really love every arc that's been so far since Rebirth began. What are your thoughts about this kind of thing? And Barry Allen is of course my kind of favorite, not favorite speedster, but my favorite Flash. And it's like nobody can replace it. I like how he is. Sure, he's like struggling with science and sometimes going a little bit too far. Or like, why are you not giving Godspeed another chance while you always question it kind of thing? But I get it. You sometimes get portrayed a little bit too many times on the hero. You start to like question everybody. I get it. I feel you, man. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. There goes my mask. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this whole fucking recap in a fucking kind of thing. I really enjoyed recapping the whole fucking story since Rebirth, even a little bit earlier than that. I hope you enjoyed. This was the Goblin, and I hope you all Goblin Nations liked this video. And see you guys in another twisted video. Goodbye.
I do it all because I'm evil, and I do it all for free. Your tears are all